What's going on, everyone? It's Rich from Frozen Oil, and today is the Game 51 recap. The Oilers take on the Detroit Red Wings. A lot going on in this game today. It's the debut of Klingberg, our latest signing, as well as the return of Todd McLellan, yet on another team behind the bench of the Red Wings. And he's had a great record since he took over that bench, and they are taking on the Oil, and unfortunately, the Oilers fall in a shootout, so we got a point at least. 3-2 against the Detroit Red Wings. Let's take a look at the stats. So, 47 shots for the Oilers. Leon or Lion or however you pronounce his name was fantastic in net. For the Detroit Red Wings, once again, we get humbled by the opposition's goalie on home ice. It's crazy. 47 shots on net and only 2 goals. He had a 1.85 goals against average and a .957 save percentage. So just continue to get goalied sometimes here in Oil Country, unfortunately. 45-54 on the face-off dot, and the second period was a huge comeback period for the Detroit Red Wings. The Oilers on the power play, 1 for 4, a tremendous amount of opportunities, and they just could not bury it for some reason. The Red Wings go 0 for 3, so the penalty kill is strong still. Hits 23-14 in favor of the Wings. It's rare that the Oilers get over 15 hits a game, and today is another example of an area that needs to be addressed. Block shots 19-17, giveaways 19-18, both in favor of the Red Wings, and takeaways 8-5 in favor of the Oilers. Just a couple of notes. Skinner gets his 9th, and more importantly, Leon Draisaitl gets his league-leading 36th goal of the year. Let's check out the first one, 0-0. First period, Oilers on the power play.
Out to Bouchard, directing up top. Mcdavid, 7 power play goals. Draisaitl, 9, the 2 leaders on this Edmonton club. Bouchard trying to stuff it in front.
Sherratt fanned on it there. It came right to Draisaitl. Fortunately, he buries it.
The scene passes away. Draisaitl tested Lyon early on with a little shot from the side. He was able to walk in, test him, but he was ready for that one. This is a little bit of a lucky bounce on this one that comes to Draisaitl. 1 bounce, 2 over the stick.
What a shot.
Trying to clear it out of the way to the wrong guy. The 3-time 50 goal scorer makes short work of that one-timer. Lyon was...
That's why you got to get your body behind the puck, not just your stick as a defenseman. Just in case that happens, or at least your skate or something. Now 1-0 Oilers, still in the first period.
Louis noted earlier. Here's a flip by Jeff Skinner ahead, and nearly a short side stuff by Enrique.
Skinner. Approaching 10 goals, yet somehow he keeps getting scratched. I really don't understand.
Over to Nurse, and this is a beautiful pass right on the far blue line tape of Zach Hyman. A little give and go, and maybe a little lucky bounce here as Lyon just can't bring this puck into the body. It's a sharp angle shot by
just
Henrik, and it just gets away from him, and Hyman continues to bash away at the big paddle, and it pops right out to Jeff Skinner. You're right, he just shovels it home. Chipped out the left hand.
So obviously Detroit ties the game up at 2. No scoring in a very eventful third period and overtime. And we head to, for the first time this season, game number 51. We head to the shootout. And just like that puck slipped away on Nuge, the game slips away on the Oilers. But again, like I said, as long as we got a point, we stayed atop our division. We stayed in second place in our conference, and we stayed third place overall in the league because we had some help from around the league to keep our position in the standings. So like I said earlier, at least we got a point in this game, and we kept our position pretty much in the standing. We had some help from around the league against some of our division rivals, and like I said, it's you're not going to win every game, and at least we got the solace of taking a point out of today's game. It wasn't all for nothing, and we get ready for a huge next game versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Leafs game in Edmonton, but there is a lot of Leafs fans at the game. So, it's going to be, I wonder what tickets are going for that. They usually are going for big money, and probably even more now because so many people from Ontario have moved to Alberta, and those tickets especially to Toronto Maple Leafs game are going to go for even more money. I'm going to take this quick moment to kindly ask for you to consider subscribing to the channel. We just hit 500 subscribers. We're really proud of it. So thank you so much to everyone that has taken the time to subscribe. We really appreciate it. And we're going to now move on to our favorite segment in the episode, which is some comments on Twitter/X. And just a quick reminder, you can follow us at Frozen Oil Hockey on X. All right, so let's move on to Twitter/X and check out some of these comments from the Oilers faithful. We'll start it off with first one from Elliot Friedman. New NHL/NHLPA have released cap estimates for the next 3 seasons, so the cap is going up big time. 25-26, 95.5 million. 26-27, 104 million. 27-28, 113 million. 0.5. So it's too bad they announced this news now because we still have to sign Bouchard. McDavid doesn't matter. He's going to get what he gets, but this probably is going to affect what we pay Bouchard a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's still going to be a lot of significant cap space for the Oilers to rectify whatever holes they have moving forward after this season. So looking forward to that. Thought I'd bring you that news because it's pretty important overall. Here's one from BR Open Ice. We got an octopus on the ice in the third period between the Oilers and the Red Wings. And they have a smiley face octopus emoji there, but as an Oiler fan, this is tough to see on your home ice. I mean, this isn't something that, let's hear the sound of this.
We saw nachos in that area. We see an octopus now. I don't know.
So, I mean, they got to scrape this thing. I mean, our thing is to throw a piece of Alberta beef on the ice. That's kind of our thing. But to get an octopus thrown on your ice, on home ice, it's pretty sad to see. So who knows? Maybe that, if you're superstitious, maybe that's what caused the Oilers to lose this game. Here is one from Stony at Stony Oil. Lion costs no more than a third at the deadline. Get him, please. So obviously there's still a lot of Oilers faithful out there that are not sold on the goaltending here in Edmonton. I mean, Stuart Skinner only let in 2 goals. He made a lot of big saves, even though the couple that he let in, especially the second one, were a little bit soft, but he did make up for it with some big saves. And at the end of the day, if you can, like I said, I think this one's more on the offense than it is on Stuart Skinner, because the Oilers should be getting a minimum of 4, even 5 goals a game, every game with the offense that they have. And they could only put up 2 on the board. So I wouldn't put too much blame on Skinner. But here's another one from the Oil Leak at 623. Swiss Skinner. And I'm assuming they are referring to Swiss cheese, which has got some big holes in it. So, again, a lot of Oilers faithful not happy with the kind of reliability, or better word, maybe the consistency of Stuart Skinner, and it does cause, the fan base to stress out a little bit because you got to go into the playoffs with solid goaltending. Here's one from Oilers' top 50 stats. Evan Bouchard's 209th career point ties Peter Klima for 31st most in Oilers franchise history. So he's moving on up. Here's one from DC at David, _co. Such a stupid loss. Oilers again have the second best goalie playing. And for sure he was the second best goalie in tonight's game, Stuart Skinner. But, the Oilers generated 47 shots on net. You're 3 shots away from 50 shots. You should at least score 3 or 4 goals off that. And I don't know what it is, but the hockey gods, you name it, you could make whatever excuse you want. But at the end of the day, Leon was fantastic in the game today. Draisaitl could have had a hat trick easily, and he made a lot of big stops. Mcdavid got stopped on that wraparound. So unfortunately, just didn't have the luck go our way when it came to offense, and they fall in the shootout 3-2. Here's one from Sportsnet Stats at SN Stats. Leon Draisaitl has scored an NHL high 21.6% of the team goals this season. That would be the 3rd highest in a season in Oilers history. So Leon Draisaitl continuing to turn heads, continuing to break records, and obviously prove his campaign for a shot at the Hart Trophy, which I think he's going to get, because we're game 51 into the season and he is still playing like a raging bull. So congrats to Leon. Here's one from Travis Dakin. Oilers in overtime equals fire wagon. Oilers in shootout equals wagon on fire. So I thought that one was funny. And yeah, it's not like we're seeing a lot of shootouts to complain too much. That was our first one of the year. We dropped it, but we got the point. We could have easily ended this game in overtime. But again, Leon with some big saves. Here's one from Daniel Fika at Oilers 49er. If Jeff Skinner is a healthy scratch after tonight's game, then the coach clearly doesn't care about the best lineup. Put Jeff Skinner back on the second line for a bit. Dry's line is stale. And I agree. I've been saying this since the beginning of the year, to be honest with you. Jeff Skinner does not belong on the 4th line. That's not his game, and you're not going to change a veteran player that's already been in the league for 10 plus years to suddenly turn into a grinder. He's got great hands, silky mitts. He's an offensive player, and he needs to be on the top 2 lines, or you got to move him, one of the two. And I hate to say that because I've been impressed with him this season. He hasn't complained at all for the ice time that he gets, but at the same time, if you're going to have Jeff Skinner on your 4th line, that just means you don't have a fit for him for one reason or another. Speaking of consistent scratches, Kasperi Kapanen was scratched in tonight's game, healthy scratch, and I kind of disagree with that. He's been really generating opportunities, really flying out there, being physical, and I would have liked to see him in the lineup and continue to be in the lineup because he is, like I said, impressing not just me, a lot of Oiler fans with his play. And if you did miss it, the Oilers did announce their quarter-century team, a mix of stars from the current squad and icons from the early 2000s, specifically from 2000 to 2025. So the announcement has been made. We already did a video on that. You can check it out on our channel. It'll probably appear as the last video in the top corner, so you can just click right on that and check out the video, and you will see who the first team and second team quarter century Oilers are. So try to check that video out if you can. And that's pretty much going to do it for today's episode. Looking forward to doing the next one again. We're playing the Leafs, so a huge game. A lot of bragging rights, that's for sure. So looking forward to that. And thank you so much for watching the video. Really appreciate it. And most importantly, go Oilers, go.
Frozen or hockey, the channels you need. Oilers on the ice, unstoppable speed. Chasing the cup, we're gonna succeed. With David leading, we're built to exceed.
Frozen or hockey,